66 years ago in Tokyo, Japan, the Kuribayashi Camera Company made this camera, the Petri 2.8. Let's go. Hello everyone, Carmine from New York here. Welcome back to my channel. Photographer here in Manhattan since 1973. This is the Kuribayashi, also known as the Petri 2.8 35mm film camera. All right, let's get into it. This camera is 66 years old. All throughout this video, you're going to see the photographs I took with this camera. This camera is all metal construction. It is a rangefinder, right? You would look through this viewfinder, and when you look through, this small little window here has a mirror behind it, and it puts a square right in the middle of the viewfinder. And as you focus with this focusing knob built in on the focus ring, the image, let's say this was your image, the little mirror puts a second image. And when the two images line up like that, your picture's in focus. So it was 1958 in Tokyo, Japan, when the Kuribayashi Camera Industry developed and produced this camera. A funny thing about the Kuribayashi Camera Industry, as the company was known back then, is that later on they did change the name to Petri, and they still left little telltale signs that it was indeed Kuribayashi. Because by then, by 1958, Kuribayashi was very well known as being an optical company making optics for various industries throughout the world. So like I said, this is a 35mm film camera. It has a lens on the front that is not removable. All right. It's a 2.8 45mm multi-coated lens. Now, because it's 66 years old, you have to kind of get used to its little quirks. For example, the rewind lever takes its time going back to the correct position. All right, but just be gentle with it. It still works. And the shutter button here does take a little longer to go back up like that. So just be patient. Yes, you can send it out to be CLA'd, clean, lubricated, and adjusted, but this camera only sells for $39 in working condition. And to get it CLA'd, you would pay 4 times the price of the camera. So I would rather just have a camera that I will be patient with when the lever takes its time going back, or when the shutter button takes its time going back up. Okay. Now, why is this camera so popular? It's popular because there's no battery. Nowhere in this camera will you find a battery. It's 100% mechanical. It's just springs and levers and gears, and you'll never get stuck with a dead battery or trying to find a battery wherever you are around the world looking for a specialized little small battery. You don't need it. What you will need is very good Sunny 16 skills, guessing what the exposure should be, or just get a handheld light meter. My favorite is the TT Artisan Roman numeral 2 light meter, which is modern and accurate, and I use it all the time. And they're not a sponsor. So let's just go down the list of a few things. First of all, the maximum shutter speed is 1/300th of a second. The photographs you're looking at, I took a little quick trip from Manhattan. It's only about 80 minutes away from Midtown Manhattan. It's called Sandy Hook, New Jersey. It's a great place to go and take photographs. Like I mentioned, this camera is about $39 on eBay. And what's funny is in 1958, the brand new price in retail was $50. One thing that makes this lens so special is that it's only 4 elements. Now, as you know, less elements is better than more elements because glass will steal light and will steal information. What's the information in photography? Details. So the Kuribayashi slash Petri film camera company made this camera for 3 years. But in that 3-year period, they made 360,000 of these cameras. That's why the price today is $39, because there's so many hundreds of thousands of them out there. So Kuribayashi Optical Company did start in 1907 by Kuribayashi Yoji. He started the company, and then they decided, since Kuribayashi was a little difficult for many people to say correctly, they did change the name to Petri, Petri, and that happened in 1962. So we could take a walk around the camera, okay, on the lens, okay, on top. I'll show you a close-up picture of it. It has it has the shutter speed dial, which goes from B to 1/300th of a second. Then you have the aperture ring, which goes to f2.8. Perhaps that's the reason why this camera was called the Petri 2.8. And it goes all the way down to f22. What's convenient is the focusing ring is in feet, so you don't have to calculate feet to meters if you're in the United States, which goes from minimum focus 2 feet to, of course, infinity, all within this short focus throw from here to here. And it's very convenient to have this because as you're focusing, you could just use your index finger to go down and up without really moving the camera too much. Very, very quiet shutter. Let's listen. Very quiet. That's why these are very popular amongst my professional buddies to use them for street photography. It's kind of small, right? It's not that small, but it's kind of small. You don't have to ever worry about packing extra lenses with you because it does only come with a 45mm permanently attached. All right, so now on top, it does have a cold shoe. And over here, it's funny, it has a very old Sunny 16 rule. It doesn't say Sunny 16, but it does have that kind of information on it. This is your rewind knob here. Film advance, like we mentioned, is here. Shutter button there. It does have a frame counter. On the back, it's a viewfinder. On the front, of course, the lens, the nameplate, Petri 2.8 color corrected super. Now, what that stood for is that it had a multi-coated lens. It does have a flash sync port right there, which only gives you X choice for electronic flash. There is no choice for bulb or FP flash powder. Okay, that's a pretty modern thing to have. Now let's open the back. Okay, very standard back. Film loading here. You run it down. This is the take-up spool. Here, and of course the sprocket gears here. Now this little label, you're going to be quite intrigued what this little label says. Here's a close-up photo of it. They stood behind their cameras so much, like the label says, they'll fix it even if you lost your warranty card. And look, wonderful. They even have a red dot. Kind of like Leica, I don't know. Was it for sales? I don't know, but it's a red dot. So now this photograph right here kind of shows you the great bokeh you can get wide open. So this was at f2.8. I took all the photographs you're about to see on Fomapan 100 film. Developed them in my darkroom with Rodinol. All right, let's look at all the photographs. Have a great day and comment below if you've ever used a Kuribayashi, Petri camera, or a rangefinder camera. Let's look at the photos now.